I want to thank the National Potato Council for sponsoring this event, but most of all, I want to thank all the food service directors who are serving our schools across the nation for coming today and sharing your stories about what exactly the impact will be if the Department of Agriculture rule does go into effect. I want to talk about some of the practical implications of the proposed rule, as well as the nutritional benefits of potatoes that are often overlooked. And let me say that growing up in Aroostook County, Maine, as my mother reminded me last weekend, we had potatoes virtually every single day. And she also points out that none of the 6 children is overweight either. So I do want to start, however, by saying that I fully support the Department of Agriculture's goal of increasing the availability of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains in the school meal programs. We do want to ensure that the foods served in the meal programs are prepared to meet the nutritional needs of our children. That's a goal that we can all embrace. However, I'm concerned that if the new USDA guidelines go into effect, our schools' choices of fresh, healthy, locally grown vegetables will be severely restricted. USDA has proposed placing certain limits on a certain category of vegetables, which includes green peas, corns, lima beans, and white potatoes. When it comes to the school breakfast program, it's proposing the elimination of potatoes and corn altogether. It is also proposing limiting their serving to a total of 1 cup per week in the school lunch program. Now, let me tell you what the practical results of that are. That means if a school were to serve a medium baked potato on Monday, it could not serve a full serving of corn or more potatoes for the rest of the week, whether as a separate serving or in foods like fish chowder or beef stew. That simply makes no sense whatsoever. I met this morning with Doris Demers, who I think is here somewhere. She's hiding over in the corner. And she is the food director of the towns of Kittery and York in the great state of Maine. She told me the story of a wonderful farm-to-school program that she has worked very hard to develop so that students have access to fresh, locally grown food. And that is an initiative that I know Michelle Obama has also worked very hard to promote, to encourage local consumption of locally grown foods. She pointed out to me, not Michelle Obama, but Doris Demers pointed out to me this morning that if one of her schools were to serve a fresh ear of corn on the cob grown on a local farm on a Monday, it could not serve a medium baked potato for the rest of the week. That makes no sense whatsoever. Now, USDA's own 2010 dietary guidelines call for Americans to eat more vegetables. That is a goal that we all support. The guidelines list 4 nutrients of concern: potassium, dietary fiber, calcium, and vitamin D. The guidelines go on to state that the intake of those four nutrients is currently low enough to be a matter of public health concern for children and adults alike. So if concern about the lack of these nutrients is driving USDA decision-making, doesn't it make more sense to retain good sources of these critical nutrients and promote more healthy preparation of foods that contain them? This chart illustrates the nutrition facts of a medium potato. Now, having picked potatoes, I can tell you this is a Maine russet potato. I do know my potatoes. And as you can see, and these are statistics that are from the federal government, from the FDA, potatoes are a great source of potassium, which is one of the four nutrients that the guidelines say that we don't get enough of. In fact, in doing research on this, I was surprised and pleased to learn that potatoes have more potassium than bananas, and bananas are a food that are associated with potassium. They're a good source of fiber, something that we all need more of, 8% of the daily fiber needs. They're a good source of vitamin C as well, and vitamin B. So the white potato that is much I can't think of the word, but it is not getting the credit it deserves for all the nutrients that it contains.